All right. We should be live now. So, hello everyone. I just wanted to apologize real quick for what happened in the last stream. By the way, be sure to tell me if you can hear me. You won't see me because the camera's focused on something else, but let me know if you can hear me. I just want to make sure you can. So the last stream that I did a few minutes ago, I was doing on my phone. My phone has an app that's called Streamlabs. It's designed so you can live stream in high definition onto YouTube, because if you use the YouTube app, you cannot live stream in high definition. So I was trying to, oh good, everybody can hear me, that's good. So I was trying to live stream in high definition on Streamlabs on my phone, so that way I didn't have to set up all the cameras and microphones like I do for my tea time live streams or my gaming live streams. But while I was in the middle of live streaming, the app kept shutting down in the middle of the stream because it said I was not connected to YouTube. And even though I was talking right to you guys, so it kept shutting down because it thought I was using the app without actually using it. And so I finally just had to shut down the live stream. I had to go onto YouTube to actually shut down the live stream because it wouldn't do it on the phone. The phone app said that the stream wasn't even running in the first place. So yeah, I had to do that. And what I've done now is I've gone and I've set up my camera and my microphone, the ones that I use for my tea time live streams. So, yeah. And Pookie Smoochie, thank you so much for your comments. I did write out a nice long response thanking you, and your daughter for watching my channel and being interested in the Queen Mary. It makes everything all worth it. As soon as I typed it out and put a little smiley face at the end, I sent it, and all it sent was the smiley face. So yeah. But anyway. I know some of you were just on the last live stream, and I already gave a tour of the layout, but I'm going to do it again because people who are tuning into this live stream may not have seen the layout yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're starting from this area here. So this is the one cool thing I can do with this live stream that I can't with the phone, is I can actually zoom out. This is the rock work. Most of the rock work on the mountain has been done already, but it will need to... something's wrong. Wait a minute, it's not showing... Why is it not showing... Oh my gosh. So I'm moving the camera right now, but you guys don't know that because for some reason the stream is paused on just that image of the railroad, the thing. So you know what? I am going to try to figure out what's wrong with that. I'll bring the microphone with me. Okay, let's see here. Why is it not moving? Where is it? Where's the thing? You gotta be kidding me. Why did it stop? Oh, jeez. Alright, hold on. Let me see if I can fix this while the stream is going. Deactivate. Okay, reactivate. There we go. Okay. Alright, so you should be seeing that now. And I'm going to attempt to try again to show you the layout. Hopefully, this works. I'm just going to hold the cable in. Alright, so this is the rock work that I was working on. Since the last time you guys saw it, no further work has been done on it. And but all the rock work is done on the front side of it, and it needs to be painted. The back side is relatively smooth with almost no rock work applied to the back. So that still needs to be done before I can paint it, because I don't want to paint two different sides on the thing. And then, so yeah, beneath the rock work is Tumble Rock Canyon. It's the namesake of my railroad, Tumble Rock Canyon Railroad. And then a lot of people have been asking if I'm going to build a river or something. And there is. I've shown in a lot of my videos that there is a river back there. It runs along the entire length of the layout, crossing under 3 bridges. So yeah, there is a river, you guys. It's just not complete yet. And the mountain will have waterfalls falling from it that go down into 2 smaller creeks that will run underneath the trestle bridge. So everything is custom built. It's all in On30 scale, meaning that it's O scale on narrow gauge tracks. Narrow gauge being the HO scale tracks. So, yes. So we have the mayor's house in the background over there. We have the logging bridge where they dump logs into the river. We have the water tower. So far we have the telegraph office and bank, a little cafe, the engine house, which was custom built. The telegraph and bank was custom built by my father. The engine house was custom built by myself. There's videos on both of those things if you want to see it. We have, what do you call it? A freight station. So there's the freight cars along that track. They're right in front of the microphone here. Will be a passenger station eventually. And then all the way in the back, behind the pink rockwork, that'll eventually be rockwork looking, but behind the pink rockwork will be, it's a staging area for extra trains. So right now I have the passenger train back there. But today we're going to continue working on the custom-built sort of caboose that I've been working on but never finished. So I'm going to go ahead and move the camera into place here. Hopefully it will connect and it won't give me a big issue, because this thing can be pretty temperamental. So, okay, that should be good. Maybe I can zoom out a little bit. Oh, that's as far as I can zoom out. Okay. Alright, so I'm just making sure that it can see, because if the cable is not perfectly in there, I found out that you can't tell that people can see what you're doing. So I'm just double checking. All right. Okay. Well, the microphone's kind of blocking the view from back here. All right, so I'm going to be working on this thing. Let me get to your guys' comments. Let me go on my phone to go look for that. Lower the volume. So, okay, I can't get to everybody's comments right now because I do have to get working on this thing. So, let me see. There was a what do you call it? A donation by Alexander Thomas. Thank you very much. Well, like I said previously, music. I've been working on the railroad. Oh, fudge. Okay, so if you guys have asked questions, ask it again at this point, because I will not go back and read them right now, because it will take too long to go back and read all that. So if you've asked questions and I didn't answer it yet, go back and re-ask me. Alright, so let's see. Ah, jeez. Let's see here. Down, come on. Delta says, will there be a logging mill? No, not a logging mill. Just an area to dump logs into the river. There's no space on my layout for a logging mill. So, alright. Let's open this box. Jeffrey says, will the river and waterfalls be real water? No, there's very rarely any case where you'd want to use real water on a model railroad. One, water takes a lot of maintenance. It can damage things on your layout. Even if you try to use materials that are water resistant, eventually it all needs to be replaced. It's just water's too difficult. So the waterfalls and the river will be done in resin. So they will be permanent, solid things. Okay, so I'll leave this over here. I got my tea, drinking some American Indian chai. Pookie Smoochie says, what is your plan for the water? Are you using... Oh, someone already asked that. Yeah, it's going to be resin. Chaser Railway says, what's the difference between On30 and On3? So, the difference is the width of the rails. So, with On30, the scale is 30 inch. So, that means that in order to replicate 30 inches of width between the rails, the closest thing to it is using HO scale tracks. That represents 30 inches in O scale. And then with ON3, it's called ON3 because it stands for 3 foot. So so the rails are a bit wider apart. So instead of 30 inches, they're 36 inches apart. So scale-wise. And so ON3 is 3 scale feet, wider. Sam says, you build ON30, I build L gauge. Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of L gauge before. Daniel says, Alex, did you ever have problems uncoupling N-scale cars? Because every time I try to uncouple them, they always derail. No, I've never heard of that problem before. You could use an uncoupling tool, so... I have... This is an uncoupling tool, and it looks like a little pen, essentially, but at the very end is like a pointy tip with a flat head on it. And you can use that to uncouple the cars. You just rotate clockwise, and then it uncouples the cars. You could also do it with a barbecue skewer, those little bamboo barbecue skewers. Some people use those and it works. It's never worked that well for me, so I've always chosen to use uncoupling tools. And I still use uncoupling tools with my model railroad today. So, yeah. Let's see. Pookie says, have you ever been electrocuted working on your railroad? No, because the voltages and amperages just are not high enough to electrocute you. So no, I've never been electrocuted. L gauge is Lego. Oh, I see, okay. Top Impressive says, Alex, during your UK trip, when you go to Bristol and catch some video of the SS Great Britain, will you make a video about SS Great Britain? Of course, yes, absolutely. There's going to be the idea is that not only will there be vlogs, but there will be actual history documentaries about all the places I visit. So there will be things about, there will be a documentary about SS Great Britain. There's going to be a documentary about the little narrow gauge railway just outside of Bristol. I'm going to go to the Clifton Suspension Bridge, and there's going to be a video about the Clifton Suspension Bridge. So yeah, there's totally going to be videos about everything that I go and see. Alright, so let's see what the next step on this thing is. There's a lot of steps to building this caboose. Chaser Railway says, have you thought about HON30 or HON3 or 009? Yeah, I've never heard of 009, but I've thought of HON30 and HON3. It just does not suit me, no. The problem with HON30 or HON3, it's just not big enough. It needs to... I've had so many issues with small trains. I do not like it. So I prefer the bigger trains now. But yeah, it was part of my consideration before I ever built an ON30 layout. Sam Brown. Oh, geez, wow. Well, I hope you get it fixed. Hey, Mike, you didn't miss anything. Pookie says, are you going to be making a documentary about Queen Mary 2 when you take your trip? I'd be interested to know how a modern ocean liner works compared to the past. Also, does Queen Mary 2 have shear? It doesn't look like it. So yeah, there will be vlogs of my time on Queen Mary 2. There will be reviews of my time on Queen Mary 2. Reactions to my time on Queen Mary 2, and then there will be a documentary about the Queen Mary 2 and how it was made and all that stuff. And then, let's see. Queen Mary 2 does not have shear. Ships today do not need shear. So even though Queen Mary 2 is perfectly flat, they did paint the forward bow area a certain way to make it look like she has shear. It doesn't really fool anybody, though. So, let's see. Daniel says, those are really expensive. HON30 280 costs almost $500. Yeah, that's about the same price for a lot of ON30 stuff, too. So, hey, Spyro. Let's see, have you thought about... T3S says, have you thought about 3D printing any buildings for your railroad? I have, yes, but two issues. One, I like to build stuff myself. It has a look that I really want. And two, even if I 3D printed stuff, who's going to 3D print it? I've tried looking for people who will 3D print me stuff, and they want to charge me like $2,000 for like a tiny little model. $2,000. I'm like, no thanks. You know, I have a friend who has a 3D printer. I tried to get him to print something. He says his printer wasn't working, and I don't think he's all that invested in helping me print it. So I was kind of like, all right, well, you know, I'm like, I guess I'm just on my own. I'm going to build stuff myself. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is just building everything myself. So, let's see. Spyro, Queen Mary 2 does not have shear, not even on the front. They painted the front to look like it has shear, but it does not have shear. The entire ship is completely flat, and the reason why is they do not need shear. It's completely unnecessary for a ship like Queen Mary 2. It doesn't do anything for those ships. So, let's see. Top impressive line says, Alex, from what I could find, SS Great Britain was really the world's first transatlantic ocean liner. No, that would go to one that came before SS Great Britain. It would be oh gosh, I always forget the name of the ship. Can you guys help me out? There was a ship that came before RMS Britannia. It was the first ship that Samuel Cunard owned, and it sailed across the North Atlantic. It was his very first ship, but it was not the first ship in the Cunard Line fleet, which is why it's almost never remembered anymore. I always forget the name of that ship. It came before Britannia. It was it came like a couple, like, I don't know, almost to I forget. It came before Britannia. And it was owned by Samuel Cunard, but not by his company. No, not the Archimedes. It was pretty much the first steam ocean liner to cross the entire North Atlantic. It sailed from, I want to say, either Plymouth or Liverpool to Halifax. So, I always forget the name. But it was the very first ship that Samuel Cunard purchased. But it was not part of his Cunard Line company. Let's see. Daniel Ramirez says SS Unicorn. I looked at... No, it was not SS Unicorn. It was something like something brown. Something... I'll look it up, you guys. I'll look it up, because... Come on. Back. I have to get out of the live stream or else I can't look stuff up. Samuel Kinnard first ship. No, the Unicorn was 1840. No, the ship I'm thinking of came before the Unicorn. It sailed in like 1833. So, let's see. You know what would probably make this go a whole lot faster? I can ask, what do you call it? I have an AI software that can tell me. I'll go back to my channel to see your guys' comments. All right, hold on, you guys. I'm gonna ask the AI software. Well, that was a bust. The AI didn't know. So, take my word for it, there was a ship that Samuel Kinnard owned before he ever started the Kinnard line. It was a ship, and it always comes up in every single one of my live streams. Somebody always asks me, and I end up referencing this ship, and I can never remember the name. And then somebody comes in and saves the day and is like, oh, it's the SS blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's it. That's the name. So, yeah, I do type fast, Mike. I've learned how to type from a very young age. It is not the Sir Charles Ogle. No, it's not that. I don't remember the name. It is something like William Brown or something. No, Turbinia came in the late 1800s or early. No, like 1894 or something like that. No, it is like something like SS William Brown or something like that. And I tried looking it up. I can't find it. It's something like that. It is literally the first ship that Samuel Kinnard had owned that sailed across the Atlantic. And it came before Britannia. It came before the SS Great Western. It came before all that. It was a very early ship. So, I can't find it, and there's usually somebody in my chat that knows, and they answer for me. So I have no idea. So I can't find them. But yeah. All right, I gotta get started on this thing. I get too fixated on answering these questions. Royal William. That doesn't sound... Let me look it on Google. Yes, it was the Royal William. The SS Royal William was partially owned by Samuel Cunard, and it was the first like steamship to sail across North Atlantic entirely under steam power. A lot of other steamships that came before it, they only ran steam when they like left their port and then entered a new port. But in the middle of their voyage, they would do they would use sails or something like that. So, or maybe it's the other way around. But still, yeah, it is the SS Royal William. It's crazy. I'm so frustrated at that AI. I asked the AI. I literally said I was like the name is like William or something like that, and it's like nope, don't know. I'm like what? I'm like you're supposed to be the smartest thing on the internet. Oh my god. So anyway, all right. So yeah. All right. I need to make sure I'm at the right step in the process. Okay, so I did do that. All right, so I'm on step 2. Window wall end. Stick interior end wall A2. Okay, so I don't know which one is A2, but... Unless no, I never labeled them. Stick interior wall A2 to intermediate wall B3, followed by exterior wall end C2. It wants me to very specifically glue these walls. Yeah, Daniel, you did win against an AI. Hey, Matt. Okay, so, alright, we gotta stick some of these together. Gotta keep that open. Alright, so the intermediate walls are over here. Move these up. We'll start with this wall. Oh, but darn it. What if this one has to go to this one? And oh, jeez. I don't remember which is A, which is B, which is what. Where's my parts diagram? Where's the parts diagram? There it is. Okay, so it says stick A2 to intermediate wall B3. So A2 is the curved one. Okay, so I have the right one. To intermediate wall B3. Okay, so that would be this one. Followed by exterior wall C2, which is the curved exterior wall. Okay, so, okay, now we know which ones go where. Jeez. Jeez, oh my gosh, what in the world? And I'm going to see that live on the live stream. I'm just going to unplug this phone. It's just frustrating. Alright. Put that there. Alright, well, I'll put that over here. I don't need that. Okay, so I need to bring out this intermediate wall. Here's my have my hobby knife. Okay. I'm just going to pre-fit them together to make sure everything looks right. Okay, and then those have to be lined up there. Okay, I think it'll all turn out fine. Okay. Chris says, some of the lower first-class cabins on Titanic remind me of my great-grandparents' home in my hometown of Marceline, Missouri. Interesting. Well, you must be really, really proud of Marceline. You mention it in every one of my live streams. And that's okay. It's good to have pride of where you live. Or where you're from. Okay. So that first layer is done. So these are model kits that are put together by, you know, just people who know how to do this stuff, and then they want to sell it, you know, make money off of it. So sometimes there are things on it that just don't seem like, I don't know, they're not built to last in the box. You have to put them together and then they'll last. So I'm noticing stuff that, like, the adhesives are just not what they used to be. It looks like this kit has been in the box for way too long. I mean, heck, this kit came with, well, no, I think I'm thinking of another kit that did that, but this kit certainly has that same issue, where some of the stuff just doesn't work anymore. Okay, so that is done. Ron Blake said, looking at my book, Picture History of Cunard Line, 1840 to 1990, no mention of that ship. Yeah, that's the reason why, is because your book is about Cunard Line. But this ship predated Cunard Line by like 9 years, almost a decade. So it was a ship that was owned by Samuel Cunard, but not by Cunard Line. Okay, so let's see. Stick on door trim, D6 plus D7, around the door hole on 557 and 558. The trim goes all the way along the roof. Alright, let's look at D7 plus whatever that was. D6 plus D7. So sheet There's 7. There's 6 there. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Okay. Alright, where's D? Please don't tell me it's this thing, isn't it? Oh god, it is. It's this thing. I hate this sheet. This one is so... all these small parts. God. Did I label this one? I feel like I labeled all of them. Okay. That's supposed to be a door trim? Where does that fit? There's no way. Like, where does that even go? End door trim. Oh no. No, that still doesn't seem right. I'm looking at the pictures of how the model was constructed. This goes on the outside. Oh, I see. God, I hate those things. On 557, 558, the trim goes all the way around to the roof. Really? Well, good thing I'm not doing that. Okay. Alright, so it's just like what I did with the windows. Alright. I think I know what's going on. Pookie Smoochie, right now there's no need for glue because some of the parts I'm working with at the moment already have a glue backing on them. So at the moment I don't need glue. But it depends on what I'm working with in the next steps. So some steps will require that I need to use my own glue, but depending on what the materials are, how it needs to be stuck, will depend on what glue I use. Here they are. I was looking for this. These are my really nice tweezers. Super sharp for getting the small details. And ergonomic, so they fit in your hand nice. Okay. So, oh, Steve's here. Hey, Steve. Blurban says, looks like you're building a combine bag coach. No, actually, this is a caboose. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, this one has... So this goes on the outside. I better start with the small one first. Okay. What? Where'd it go? Oh my god. There it is. Okay. The tough part is that I have really shaky hands. So trying to do this correctly is going to be one heck of a... Okay. Alright. I think I... Okay, I got that one. Hey, Transit Biker. It's going good. Mike says teeny tiny parts. Yep, it's definitely very, very tiny. I don't like working with stuff this small because I lose it pretty easily. I don't have very good... My hands are really shaky, so trying to get this stuff without damaging it is really hard. It's like even right now I'm trying to pull these slats out of the... There we go. Which side is the sticky side? Okay, that's the sticky side. Alright. Okay, that goes there. Line that up with that. I'm surprised that it would have me install these first and not the door threshold first. Seems like that would be an important step to do first, but we're following the orders. Yeah, Steve, it accommodated oh, I'd have to do more research. It's on this paperwork here, actually, but I don't feel like reading it. This is the, what do they call this? It's the Sandy River and Rangeley Lakes Railroad Caboose number 556, in case you want to look it up. Alright, so this one lines up. Oh, jeez. These are just like tiny door trims that go along the sides and top of the door. The trims, in real life, these would probably be about an inch or two wide. I'm not even kidding. In real life, these door trims are like an inch or two wide. But in scale that I'm working in, they are super tiny. They are just thicker than the width of a hair. They're pretty small, and it makes it difficult. But I got it. Alright, that one's done. Transit Biker says, you know what would be great? One of those headband magnifier things you got for Yule, and it's awesome. Hands-free magnification. Yeah, it probably would be, but I just like using my own eyes. I have, like, magnifying glasses and stuff that could be easier to use at certain times, but I just prefer looking with my own eyes. Okay, so that one's done. I think the next step is to... Let's see. Glue in threshold E floor to the bottom of the door hole. Threshold E4. E4. Oh, that's not even the right one. It's this one. E4. Okay. Okay. To the bottom of the door hole, even with the interior wall surface. Jeez. Okay. Guess it goes all the way through the door. All right. All right. So. Oh, well, that's not going to be easy because there's not many layers to that. So it's just going to sit there. Alright, well, in this case, I'm going to use my super glue. I got to shake it up because it's a gel-type super glue. I like the gel because it has substance to it. You can see how much you're using. It also holds it in place. It doesn't seep out everywhere like regular super glue does. So alright, so just making sure it's all settled at the bottom, because this one's almost empty, but I still need it. I still think there's enough to use. Excuse me. Have more tea. Tea's already freezing cold. All right, so. We have to be really cautious about how much glue we use. There it is. I was like, why isn't the glue coming out? Okay. Oh no. I knew that was going to happen. I trust my hands more than I trust these little utensils. These tweezers, these, magnifying glasses. I trust my eyes before I trust magnifying glasses. Because I can do better without that stuff. So these tweezers, I'm like trying to set this in there. It's barely fitting through the door. And then next thing I know, the tweezers flip the board, so now the glue got all over the head of the tweezers. And I'm like, I could have just done that with my own fingers, and it would have been perfectly fine. So, there we go. And that'll set in no time. That super glue dries really fast. Okay. So... glue doesn't want to stand up. Gump says, will this caboose go on an existing frame, or will it be standalone? I don't know what standalone means, but no, it will not go on an existing. I have to build the frame. So the frame is included in this kit. So it's entirely It's almost 100% you have to build everything. The only thing you don't build is you don't build the trucks, the wheels, or the couplers. But otherwise, everything else you build. Everything that stuff attaches to, you build everything. Chris says, well, oh my gosh, Chris, you'll be 36 tomorrow. Well, happy birthday. Wow. Yep. Ooh, ow, my hip. Yeah, happy birthday. Okay, so let's see here. Find door frames F3 plus F4 and install the same way as the baggage door. Stick on the... So the baggage door did this. Okay, I actually like those ones because those ones have a little stopper so that way I don't go all the way through. So let's see, where's E, F... F is going to be this one. Okay. F3, which is these, plus F4, which is right next to it. Alright. There's glue on these tweezers now, so now they want to stick to stuff. Alright, that's F3 and F4. Find F3 and F4. Install the same way as the baggage door. Stick on the interior door frames. D8. Remove visible peel and stick glue with an eraser and knife. What? Alright, let's check D. D8. Okay, that's the door frame. So let's go ahead and... Alright. Find the door frames F3 and F4. Install the same way as the baggage door. Oh, do they go on the inside? Oh, no. Why does my life suck? This thing is so detailed. I'm just reading people's comments. Okay, I think I need to use 2 more of these. But I don't remember. See, I didn't need to use one of these detachable door frames for this thing. And why is that one thicker than the other one? Okay, we'll do what the instructions say, but it looks weird. Ozzy says he needs some tea, Alex. I've been drinking tea. I have it right here. Okay, so I need to cut out this one. these have little, since I cut them off the thing, they have little burrs that need to be sanded off. Just do that real quick. It's good. Okay. And this one. There we go. Those need to be glued as well because they did not have sticky backings on them. So we'll start with, I just don't like this. I don't like how it makes me have to do it this way, but oh well. Okay, so super glue. It's funny, this kit recommends that you use wood glue. There is no way I'm using wood glue on this kit. I'm sorry. I do not have the patience. I hope you guys didn't go in thinking that I have all the patience in the world, because I really don't. I like stuff to be done quickly. Maybe it's the, it's the chef in me that likes stuff to be just done quickly and precisely. And so even with these models, I don't like having to wait for glue to dry. I think this bottle's done. Oh, wait, no, there it is. Okay. It's good. It's not gonna sit right. All right. Yeah, see, that looks weird. Because the actual door frame itself is much wider than the wood block I just put in there. Oh god. And now it doesn't want to sit right. Come on. Come on. Get in there. Oh no. It's gonna do this. Come on, get in there. Oh, come on. Oh my god. I'm wrestling with a piece of lumber the size of like a fingernail clipping, and I'm trying to get it in a door that is no wider than a Sharpie marker. This is ridiculous. Okay, I got it. Now if it will just glue upright. Okay. Now I gotta check if the other two pieces will fit, because they might have to, yeah, they have to be cut down. I don't want to do this. I don't like the way it looks. And I just dropped one. Why? Why does it... And the thing is, I have to do it because the door they gave me will not fit in place if I do not do this step. But I don't like the way it looks because it doesn't fit the whole door frame. Oh, Pookie's gotta go. I'll see you later, Pookie Smoochie. Top Impressive Line says, Alex, do you think the Queen Mary 2 will always be the last ocean liner in service, or do you think another cruising company will build a real ocean liner? I do not think another cruising company will build a new ocean liner. I think, if anything, Cunard will build an ocean liner to succeed the Queen Mary 2. So, yeah, I do not think that that another company will build an ocean liner. Let's see. Now, I have to glue the next piece. Oh no, I gotta cut the next piece. Just gotta cut that part off. There we go. Okay, now both of those are cut down to size. Technically, they wanted me to cut them at 45-degree angles and fit them all perfectly, but I'm like, I'm not doing that. Do I look like the person who has patience to do that? Top and Present Line says, Alex, do you believe that Titanic would have survived if she hit the iceberg head on? There is a high likelihood of survival, but you have to remember that the bow of the ship was full of crew sleeping quarters and mess hall areas. So there would have been a lot of people that died regardless. So yeah, but I do think there would have been a high likelihood of survival if the ship had hit it head on. But the thing is that you know, the reason why they didn't hit it head on is because that's actually the last thing you want to do. If you think you can avoid the iceberg, then you should avoid it. And that's what Murdoch did. He felt that it was the best course of the best chance they had was to avoid it. And I think he made the right decision. It's just that, you know, it's just that sometimes you know, hindsight is 20/20. Transit Biker says, this reminds me a bit of James May's Toy Stories or Reassembler. It really does take exacting patience. Very cool to watch live. It really does take exacting patience, honestly. I have a lot of patience for other things. I have patience for, talking to somebody who uh, you know, might be not easy to talk to or that kind of thing. I have that kind of patience. I have patience for doing certain projects that take a long time, but when it comes to building stuff, I do not have a lot of patience. Which is probably why I could not be a construction worker either, because because the whole time I'd be like, let's just get the building done now. There are times where I won't even, go to sleep until something is done. And sometimes, you can't do that. You have to have the patience to just try again the next day or something like that. But that's not how my brain works. My brain's like, nope, get it done now. That's one of the things when I worked many jobs, that's what they liked about me, was that I was one of those people that got stuff done right then. But then my coworkers didn't like me because I would outshine them. And I didn't try to. I just like getting stuff done. Um, People are talking about phones in the chat. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so the door interior frame that goes around the inside. So this thing. This one, thankfully, is peel and stick, so all I have to do is... Wait a minute, that does not fit this door. What? Oh, it does, okay. I was like, this door frame is too big for the door. But no, it's the right size. Alright. That stuff will be painted at the end of the live stream. Okay. Done. Now, the next wall will have to be done. Cupola end wall. Stick intermediate to the blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to have to repeat all that same stuff I just did, but this time to the cupola end wall. Alright. Let's get this done. We got to cut out this intermediate wall. Steve says, survival of Titanic ramming head-on would depend on the longitudinal girders and keel. If they did not rip more bottom plating off the hull beyond the crumple zone of collision, then she had a chance. Brian says, do you think we will always find new things about the Titanic sinking from the wreck, or do you think we have found out what we can from the wreck so we may not find any more? I think there's a handful of more things we probably could find out. But it would not surprise me if someone had come along and said, no, we learned everything we could, Because there's only so much, that happened that night. So there's got to be a finite amount of information out there to still yet discover. I mean, when you think about it, we know a lot more now than we did in 1912, and we know a lot more now, than we did in 1997. Okay, so gluing the intermediate wall. But doesn't... Okay. Okay, so that's the exterior. Cool. Alright, that one's done. Now we gotta do the door frames exactly the same, so... Okay. Make sure this one will fit. Sorry, I'm just reading people's comments. I'm like, huh? What's going on? Okay. Okay. This time I'm gonna not put glue on the board, but onto the door frame. There we go. Let me take this. And we glue it like so. glued down perfectly. Let's get these things out. Where's this thing? Gotta remove the little burrs. Okay. It's good. We'll need to glue all that. Jeez. This takes an incredible amount of concentration, I'll tell you that much. And then you get it, and then it doesn't want to glue in the right way. Get in there. Alright. Alright. That's good. Next one. Oh, I didn't do the tiny little annoying ones yet. Mike says, I'm still working on my Lusitania model 5 years later. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, got it. I thought I accidentally glued this wall to the to the board. Okay. So Wow, those little tiny ones went in a lot easier than the last time I did it on the other wall. Alright, but I still need to glue these two things in there. Oh, I have to measure them. Measure, measure, measure. Oh boy. Oh god. Okay. Mike, I can't tell you when, but what I can say is it will be soon. Okay, that's done. Supernova, you're a producer? I mean, doesn't that take people skills? You don't have very good people skills. I've met a lot of producers who treated me with more respect than you do. No, I'm not in the industry, but I know a lot of people who are. I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of really wonderful people. I've been interviewed by people. Talked to many of them. There we go. That is done. Yeah. Next step. Alright, so people who are confused about why I'm moving because I need to move in with my father because, you know, the thing is that we discovered that it would just be cheaper if we lived in the same place as opposed to separate places. There's things I want to do for my channel. I earn a certain amount of income from this channel, and I could save just a little bit more money being in my own place. He could save a little bit more money. He wants to be able to travel, do things, and and so you know, he wants to be able to have just a little bit more financial cushion, you know. So I was like, all right, well, let's just, you know, get a nice bigger apartment or whatever, you know, because that would just be easier. So I like having my own apartment. I really do. And there is something about it that I'm going to miss. But, like, you know, it's... At the same time, it's like, I do want to have more money to be able to go more places and produce more content for you guys. But, you know, at the rate of what I'm paying for this place, which actually is pretty good, but at the rate of what I'm paying for this place, it's like, you know, it's really slow going to save up. I mean, you guys have been hearing about my UK trip that I want to take. I've been saving up for that for like almost a year now, and you know, and it's not making much of a dent, you know. So if I lived somewhere and was paying a couple $100 less per rent than what I'm paying for this studio apartment, you know, then I could save a lot more, a lot faster. So, yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so paint assembled walls now and install the window glazing, or wait until the body is completed. So the window glazing would be the next step. Okay, so it looks like the next step is painting the stuff that's not painted. But wait, hold on. Stick on interior wall A3. Let me check A3 real quick. Okay, A1. Yeah. This is so weird. Okay, well, it's not telling me to do the other stuff yet. Because... there's 3 of those. Is there a cupola exterior wall? I don't see one. Or I mean interior. Interior is what I mean. Cupola interior. I see a cupola intermediate. But like this one over here, where did that come from? Because that's... oh well. Maybe I should just worry about it later. Okay, so... and the windows, I can do the windows after I paint. I don't wanna. Oh, see you later, Steve. Alright, so, paint. Where did I keep... This is the red. Supernova, this is not like a how-to show. This is just a live stream to hang out with you guys. I'm not literally trying to show you exactly what I'm doing so that you can learn how I'm doing it and see it all assembled. It's just me talking to you guys. But, you know, the idea is that at least you can kind of see a little bit of what I'm doing, just how it's assembling at least. But, I mean, it's not at all about, like, trying to teach you something. Otherwise, if I was trying to do that, I would actually use my multiple cameras that I have, film it all at different angles, and then have it all assembled into a nice, neat video. Which, if that's what you want to see, I have those. This is just a live stream. Ozzy says, what would your time be next Sunday, Alex, because of the time change? Same time. I mean, the time... The clocks will change, but the time of the live stream will not change. Okay. Oh, this is the one I was looking for. Okay. Well, that's there in case I need it. So I think the others were dark green. Yeah, they were dark green. And the rest was red. I gotta do green first, so... And then I think I'll just have to match it. Because I don't remember what kind of like recipe I used for making the paint. But I can match it. Okay. I'm not going to need that much paint. Oh, no. Let's see. Okay, that might be ever so slightly too dark. Oh, too light, I mean. Too light. There we go. Alright, there we go. Paintbrush. This one. Okay. Now, oh, I need water to make sure I can wash this stuff out. Okay, be right back. That can be moved over there. Oh. Jeez. I'm so distracted. I created the shade for that, but what I don't need that. I need the darker color for the interior walls. I don't even think I needed to mix the white in there. Transit Biker says, it would be cool to model a rail car carrying parts for a paddle steamer. I don't know that I'll do that, but my friend had an idea, which was, he was like, what if, like, you had, like, a miniature model of the Queen Mary, like, in the layout, and I thought, you know, that wouldn't be so bad. Like, maybe I could do, like, you know how Queen Mary had a builder's model that was inside the Queen Mary? I could, like, do a scale model of a builder's model, and then, like, have that being shipped on a train, so it would be 12 scale feet long and sit on a flatbed car. I thought I could do that. That wouldn't be so hard, because it's so miniature, you don't need to worry about the tiny details. Okay. Top impressive line says, what do you think was the first twin screw ship? My guess is probably the SS City of New York. I think it was the City of New York, actually. But I would need to have my information in front of me to be able to confirm it. But I remember doing my research on RMS Oceanic of 1899, and I was wondering, I wonder what the first twin screw ship was. And I think I do remember concluding that it was City of New York. There we go. That got a double coat of paint. This one gets a double coat next. Okay. That's it for the green. Okay. Now I need to do red. Let's see here. Okay. Let's hope the red is still... Yep, looks like it is, actually. Could use a bit of thinning out, but it's still... Because this red color, I haven't used it in weeks, so I was kind of like, I wonder if it's still usable. And I think it is, it just needs to be thinned out. Because it dried a bit, so it got kind of thick. Actually, I'm not sure this is working. It's getting kind of goopy. Maybe it needs more? Oh, too much. God. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to make a new red paint. The red one is harder to reproduce because it takes like several colors. Hello, J-Rod. Okay, well, that did thin out. The problem is, thinned out way too much, so now it's not even usable. So that'll have to be cleaned out, and then I'll have to make a new one. Okay, you guys, hold on. I have to wash this out, and then I'll make a new red color. Okay. Some red. Brown. Black. Okay. Go. Mix that together. Yep, it needs to be darker. So we're going to put a little bit of yeah, a little bit of black, like a drop of black. Mike says burnt brown color. Yeah, it's like a burnt brown. I think I got it. I think I got it. Let me see. Yep, I think that's it. There we go. I don't even know where to put that. There we go. Okay. Chris says, I kind of like that YouTube channel called Midwest Model Shop. They have been building a 1/200 scale RMS Titanic. That sounds familiar. I've probably seen something like that too. Okay, so let me just move this out of the way. Lots of Train says, hi Alex, really like your channel and also On30 scale. Thank you. Probably can't see what I'm doing. Okay. Go. Chris says, you kind of remind me of myself when I was building a barn or two for my old layout. Oh, nice. Yeah, I kind of, at times I kind of wish I didn't have to build my own models, but, you know, I don't exactly have the money to hire a professional to do it for me. And plus I have certain ideas how I want the models to look, so I have to do it myself. But I don't necessarily like building models. To be honest, that probably plays into part of the reason why I haven't worked on the model railroad in a little while, is because I get tired, you know. I need a break because I just don't like building models. I like having them, I like owning them, I just don't like building them. Cool, okay, so that one's done. We can move on to the next one. I'll see you later, Ron. Chris says the other models from my old layout were kits of farm homes. They even had working lights. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be having some nice lights inside my train layout because for Christmas I got a bunch of light systems for the model railroad. So the goal is to install lighting. Hopefully it works out. Okay. Alright, everything is painted. Yeah. Gonna put this here. Alright. Atomi Cat says, yes, hobbies with Alex. Yeah, exactly. So I just finished doing some paint work for the two ends of the caboose. Now I actually get to do some kind of assembly work next. So I think I actually get to glue the walls together. So you guys might actually start seeing the actual shape of the caboose starting to come along. So let's see. Let's close this up. 6:01, started at 4. So, wow, it's already been 2 hours? Jeez, doesn't feel like it. Okay, so the next step... Without the rearmost window... think. Yeah, those are no longer sticky. It says if I want to install glass, now is the time. I do, I really do. I want to install the glass because I just don't feel like having to deal with... I think this thing comes with a sheet for glass. Yeah, these are them. Actually, it comes with the full glass windows and everything. I think. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Well, let's cut it open and find out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure what this thing here is... It's, yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's the glass. Cool, so I don't even have to cut it. I can just glue it in place. That makes me so happy because I hate gluing glass. It just is really frustrating. Well, I mean, I hate cutting the glass stuff because it's frustrating. Gluing it is frustrating too, but I can deal with that. So what we'll do... Alright. Sorry, I just had enough of that guy. That guy's messages are just really weird. At times he insults me, and then at times he's like, oh, you're great, it's whatever, you know, like, I'm not gonna deal with that, you know? If you have, like, issues with me, then just make it apparent. But if you're gonna just waste your own time, then you're not going to be on the channel, you know? Alright, so... Like, I don't play those little games, you know? Like, I'm totally fine. If someone hates me for some reason and you want to get it out of your system, let me know. Send me an email. Tell me why you hate me. You know, who knows? Maybe I can... you know, convince you why I'm not so bad. But if you're going to play little games and stuff, I'm not going to play games. Alright, here we go. Actually, what I really should be doing is taking the glue with a piece of this and then putting it in that window frame. Come on. There we go. I'm glad I did that because this big, like, gob of glue came out. See, too much glue is... Okay. That's in there. Let's go ahead and take some of this. I have a feeling this window gluing part's going to take a while. But it should look amazing. I gotta get... There's a paper backing on the windows that needs to be peeled off. Oh yeah, I've had Tester's canopy glue. I don't have it right now, but it really is great. Actually, top impressive line, that is an interesting idea, because Turbinia would fit on the layout, I think. Well, actually, Turbinia was 105 feet long. I don't know if it would fit on the layout. I could fit a 50-foot long ship, maybe, but a 100-foot long one, I couldn't fit that. Although Turbinia is from the right era, so Turbinia is from 1894, so, and my layout takes place in the 1890s, so it would be right. You know, I'm having so much trouble getting this paper backing off of the glass. Usually it just peels right off. Like, you can find a corner and it'll come right off, but it's not doing it. I can't install the glass till I take the paper off. Thank you, Atomi Cat. I don't understand why the paper's not coming off. Is the paper, like, permanently glued to the glass? Because that would be weird. Oh, come on. No, I can't turn the page. There we go. Yeah, no, no, there's no special instructions. I guess it's just the paper is just particularly difficult to get off the glass. I almost kind of like want to wet the paper and see what happens. Where's my, Here, we'll wet the paper and see if I can get the paper off. It might actually... I might have just made things worse, but... At this point, I don't think it can hurt, because I honestly could not get the paper to get off the glass, so... The problem is, like, you don't want to, Oh, see, I can... See? I wet the paper, and now I can just simply wipe it right off of the glass. Glad I did that. There we go. Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is you don't want to be rough with this stuff, or else it will, it will scratch the glass, and you don't want that. There we go. First one is installed. Chris says, I think that in Japan they have 200 scale models, famous buildings of the world, like World Trade Center. Yeah, I think I've heard of something like that. Wait, what? Top Impressive Line says, I'm not talking about a 1-to-1 scale model of Turbinia, a model that would be in the same scale as your layout. If Turbinia was the same scale as the layout, it would probably be around 2.5 feet long. Yeah, I know what you're talking. That's what I'm talking about too. Is that it would be 2.5 feet long. That would be too big for the layout. I wouldn't be able to fit it. There'd be nowhere to put it, because I can only fit something as big as half of that. So maybe a model that is technically 50 scale feet long, which is equivalent to just over an inch, or just over a foot. I mean, I can maybe fit that, but I cannot fit a model that is a scale 105 feet long. I can't do that. It won't fit on the layout. So, yeah. Yeah, that was a mistake doing that. So I'm not going to use the super glue for the rest of the windows, because what the super glue is doing is it's creating a cloudiness on the window. There's just a reaction that's happening with the super glue. So I'm going to try another glue. Alright, let me think where the other glues might be. There's a certain glue I want to use, but I almost never use it. That's metal primer. Here we go. I almost never use this stuff because it does not glue. Like, it's wet, you put it on, and then it doesn't do anything. So I almost never use this stuff, but I feel like this is the only thing that would not damage the glass. So, okay. Oh, Top Impressive Line has to go now. Alright, see you later, Top Impressive Line. And let's... Whoa! Drop my hobby knife. Be careful with a hobby knife, guys. If you ever work with a hobby knife, or heck, if you're working with a kitchen knife and you realize you're about to drop it, do not ever try to catch it. Let it fall. Because the last thing you want to do is injure yourself trying to catch a knife. Okay, so that's done. Transit Biker says, who has been your biggest inspiration in terms of creative angle/narrative development? Angle? Narrative development? You'll need to use smaller words, I'm afraid. I don't understand what you mean. Like, narrative development of... what? Go. Yeah, wetting this paper is a lot easier than trying to peel it off. Transit Biker says, angle, like what aspect of a story to tell? My biggest inspiration. trying to think, but to be totally honest, it's not a person or a channel. I was most inspired. I was most inspired by like watching the History Channel when I was a kid, because back then they actually used to tell history. And I'd watch history of just random things. I don't even remember specific things anymore. But they would have these little. They would kind of tell what was going on in a storytelling format, sometimes with even like a little bit of dramatization involved. And then, yeah, and that's kind of like how they told history, and I always liked it that way. And then Travel Channel used to have these really cool little documentaries. Like you'd travel somewhere, and it would tell you the history of the place that you're traveling to, and it would do it in kind of an entertaining format. So they used to be like that in the 90s and early 2000s. And then all of a sudden those channels just really changed. They don't do that stuff anymore. But I guess I was most inspired by that because I wanted to tell history, but I wanted to do it using storytelling, because I don't like watching stuff that is like bullet points, like this happened this year, this happened that year, this happened this time, this happened that time. I don't like stuff like that. It doesn't entertain me. So I like to watch stuff that not only teaches me the history, but also keeps me like really like engaged with it because of its entertaining aspect. The thing is, though, I haven't come across any YouTube channels that do what I do. So I'd love to say like, oh, this is a YouTube channel that inspired me to create mine. Not really. Because I created my YouTube channel because I thought, well, there's a way I want to see stuff done, and I think I'm the only person right now that is doing that or can do that right now. So I think that's how my channel really started, was just because there was stuff I wanted to see and I couldn't find it. So Chris says, hey Alex, I practice with my battle ready katana and it's crazy sharp. Geez, that's scary. You know, I have well, it's not mine, it's my dad's, but it's what do you call it? It's a bamboo katana. So it's the ones that they practice with. I would rather practice with that than with a full battle-ready katana. But you know, if you are comfortable with it and you know what you're doing, then all support to ya. Oh, I should have cut this out first. Darn it. Now that glue's gonna dry. Transit Biker says, engaging historical content is super tricky. Hold on. Super tricky on complex subjects. Gotta figure out which aspect to focus on or just be very thorough with longer videos. Yeah, it is really tricky because it's like you want to do something that honors the history of something and is very informative, but you're also trying to be entertaining with it. And I try to be entertaining in a certain way that it's not obtrusive to the content. So, like, there's, like, TV shows, like, on Disney Plus where, like, they talk about the history of certain rides and attractions. And there's this one called, like, attraction... What is it called? Attraction. I forget what it's called. Attraction something. And I watched that show with my friends, and I did not like that show. It was so. It was all over the place. The humor was dumb. It was just. I could not stand it. But I understood why they were doing it that way. They wanted to make the history that they were telling more interesting by keeping the viewers engaged, by using all that, that humor and that, weirdness. Who knows? Maybe they were successful at it, but I certainly didn't like how it turned out. And unfortunately, remember how I said, like, I set out on my channel to try to make history more entertaining for people my age or younger. And I thought if I do it with this storytelling format, it'll do that. And for the longest time, I thought that was true. But then I found out, like, not even a month ago, that most of my viewers are 65 or older. So I'm not getting the young people, mostly. I mean, there are young people who watch my channel, but the majority are people who are already interested in that stuff. So the goal I had set out to do wasn't exactly accomplished. So I'm still entertaining people. I'm still doing stuff making stuff that they want to see. It's just I'm not attracting the majority of the people who I thought my channel was geared towards. I really wanted to bring history and ocean liners and trains to younger audiences, make them more interested, but, sometimes things just don't go exactly to plan. Yeah, you know what I miss the most on Discovery Channel is Mythbusters. I used to watch that show religiously. It was my favorite. I've always been really into science and stuff, and I just like seeing the stuff that they would experiment and do, and yeah, nobody really does it quite like them. And I was really sad when I learned that Grant Imahara had passed away, and I was like, oh my gosh, no. Alright, so that one has Windows. Well, I could probably install the... Yeah, I should, shouldn't I? I gotta install the Cupola Windows. Where's the parks diagram? Transit Biker, not that young. I don't want viewers that young. I want viewers who are like between the ages of, 24 to 34. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see here. 4 is cupola side windows. 5 is cupola end windows. But one of these side windows is really small. Oh well. That's what it says, that's what it says. Transit biker. That's okay. That was pretty funny, though. All right. Hey, Mike. So... Okay. Now these windows are ready to be glued. Turns out this glue really is the best for the windows. I was worried at first that it wouldn't work out that nicely, but it is. It's going really well. Okay, next one. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my gosh. That second window barely fits. Why wouldn't they give me a bigger one for that window? Oh well, it's in there. Barely. Like, literally barely. Hope it glues, because there's nothing holding it in place. That's so weird. Why would they do that? Okay, so next wall. Brian says, didn't they try and revive it with new hosts after Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman left? It didn't feel the same sometimes. Shows work with new hosts and sometimes they don't. Yeah, they did something called the White Rabbit Project, and I tried watching it. It's just not that engaging. Like, you know, Adam Savage and Jamie, they're the guys we want to see. You know, like, I mean, I loved Grant, I loved Tori, I loved Carrie, but it's like you said, it's just, you know, you need the whole team or it just doesn't work. You know. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, so there's that one, that one, that one. Okay, so there's all four there. Okay, so... Chris says, hey, Alex, one film that I want to go see is Oppenheimer. Oh, yeah, I want to see that, too. This July. It seems interesting. Yeah. Alright, so... apply some glue. Chris says, hey Alex, early 2021, I seen Biohazard train when I was walking home in the early morning. It had a caboose. Yep. I've learned since I made my first caboose video that cabooses are actually pretty common still. So, because there was a lot of people that they responded to that video. They're like, actually, cabooses didn't go away. They're still around. They're just not on the same trains that we used to see them on. So, I was like, all right. So, yeah. You know what's scary is I like the way that this glue smells. I shouldn't, but I do. I like the way it smells. Alright, see you later, Transit Biker. Alright. So what we'll do, you guys, is once all these windows are done, I'll glue the walls together like it tells me, and then we'll call it a night. That'll be it. Okay, that one's that. There's still... let me glue these side windows. There's still one more window, this one here, to do. But I'm going to do these side windows first. Then I'm going to film with a separate camera this window being done. So that way, when I make the eventual video about how I did this, I'll have, like, something to show. Okay. Yeah, that biohazard must have been a really insane biohazard that they did not want to lose track of. Yeah, a lot of cabooses are turned into tiny houses. It's kind of cool, though. You know, they still have a use. Tara says, what was the hardest part about making your train layout? Well, the layout in general, the hardest part, I would say, is cutting, shaping, and soldering all the track together, then gluing it down. The track work is the part I enjoyed the least because, you know, you could measure the track and you know where to cut so that way you can put the parts together, and next thing you know, everything goes wrong and, you know, and nothing fits right, and you have only a finite amount of material to work with, amount of track to work with. And you're sitting there going, okay, how do I make this work while still maintaining my original concept? And boy, that is, like, so frustrating. I've had to do that so much. And Yeah, that just takes a lot of work. And then all the soldering that has to be done, it's certainly not easy. I had my dad help me with some modifications I made to my track because I wanted to add, that extra logging track with the logging bridge on it. That wasn't part of my original plan, but I had an extra switch, I had extra track left, so I thought, why let it go to waste? Why not install it on the layout? And boy, that was a pain. My dad and I worked for hours trying to get everything properly glued down and soldered, and the solder wouldn't stick to the rails, and it's just, oh my gosh, it was hectic. And then you have to wire it all together, and the wiring isn't too bad. You just got to know how positive and negative work, and then you can wire it all together. But yeah. Okay, so this last window, I'm going to wet it and then remove the paper. Thank you, Chris. But I'd say another hard part about making the layout is the buildings. The buildings, since I'm doing them all from scratch, they are pretty difficult. And look at this caboose. Like, I've been working on this caboose for like weeks now. And I'm barely ready to assemble the walls of the caboose. God knows how much longer it's going to take. All right, let me grab my other camera real quick so I can do this last part on film, or on, not film, I guess, on video. Let me get the other camera. If I have to, I can pull the footage from YouTube, but I'd prefer to have nice high-definition footage. I forgot that I wanted to film part of this today, so let's hope I have enough battery in this camera. Oh, I do. It's almost fully charged. Okay. So let me put this here. I have to aim the camera down so it sees what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, I gotta change the settings. It's set for time-lapse. I don't want time-lapse. No, come on. No. There we go. Video, 4K. Cool. No. Come on. Move the... There we go. Okay. Put a little of this glue here, glue there, glue here, glue there. Cool. All right. Hello, Malibu Company. You're joining just as the live stream might be about to end. James Bryan says you have 2 windows for the end to install unless you have one. Oh, you're right. You're right. Thank you. Okay. This was the one that was confusing because I was like, this back end of this Caboose doesn't have like a. I'll need to paint it real quick. Thankfully, I already put together the light paint I need for the back wall. So, let's give that a mix. Because you see, this back wall I'm painting, I originally thought that there was going to be another wall that sandwiches on top of it. But I learned like just minutes ago that there is no other wall that goes on top of it. So it needs to be painted. I won't be able to glue any windows to that till after the paint is dry. Paint should dry within minutes, but let that sit there for a little bit. So I'll do is I will assemble the I'll assemble the walls, and then I'll put the, because these will stick out of the top, so I can easily just put the windows right on them. So what I'll do is I'll install the walls first. Now that that's painted, while that's being installed, the paint will dry just enough that I can apply the glue and then apply the last two pieces of the windows. Let me grab some water. I'm very dehydrated right now, and I can feel it. So let me grab some water real quick. See, I don't, I don't feel thirsty. I'll explain in a second. I had underwent years of treatment for my schizophrenia, and I was after I was diagnosed, I was treated with many different medications. One of those medications, I don't remember which, took away my sense of thirst. So I don't ever feel thirsty anymore. Ever. I do not feel the sense of thirst. And so because of that, I can go. I've one time I went nearly just over 2 days. So just over 48 hours without drinking any water. And I didn't even realize it. I didn't drink anything. I didn't even drink coffee. Didn't drink nothing. So, yeah. I do not feel thirst. And so that can be a problem because I get severely dehydrated. That's my biggest issue. The last 3 days I've been very, very dehydrated because, you know, I keep forgetting to drink water. And the problem is that because I do not feel thirsty, when I drink water, it feels like I'm forcing myself to drink water. So, I don't know if you guys have ever not been thirsty, and then you force yourself to drink water anyway, and you just, it's not satisfying because you're not thirsty. That's exactly how it feels. I have to force myself to drink water because otherwise I will not. I do not feel thirsty. But I can tell when I'm dehydrated. So it's pretty bad. Miguelito. Yeah, I agree that ocean liners look a lot better than cruise ships. Chris, I don't think I'll be doing that. Okay, so let's see. I'll assemble these walls, then I'll do the last two windows there. So first, though, I want to see how this will fit together because... Oh, look at that. It does fit together nicely. I was worried that that wouldn't work, but it looks like it will. I want to use super glue on these walls because I know it'll set quickly and it'll stay put. If I use any other kind of glue, it probably wouldn't happen that way. Okay, so... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Too much. There we go. A-Class Productions says, Alex, will you ever add figures inside your coaches? I think eventually, yes. The coaches will need to be painted, but yeah, I think yes. Oh, I should be filming this. I'll film the next one, the next wall. I need to make sure that this is gluing exactly at 90-degree angles. So... Chris says, hey Alex, I drink about 1.5 gallons of water a day so that my large intestine doesn't dry out. Okay. Eric says, do you think it's better to buy a kit for buildings, or do you think making it yourself is best? It depends on what scale you work on. So if you're working in like HO scale like you do, Eric, I think buying a kit is better. Because you can get almost any kit you want in HO scale. But in On30 like I work in, you can't just buy anything you want. There are limits, and sometimes those kits are overly expensive. So, because there's less variety and stuff like that, so it's actually a lot of times just a better idea to just build your own like I do. So that's part of the reason why I do my own buildings. Okay, so let's go ahead and film this part. Okay. It's not exactly 90 degrees, but we'll make it work. Miguelito, I think having a timer to drink water is helpful. Yeah, it probably is. But what I really need is I need something that will like go off every hour and remind me to drink water. But I don't have anything that does that. Like every hour, I don't have anything that does that. I don't, at least I don't think I do. I don't know if my phone has that ability to do that, but because there's no way I can set like like 24 alarms per day. Like that sounds like a bit much, you know. A-Class Production says, Alex, what has been your largest model train crash in all your years of the hobby? Nothing really to say. Like one time I was pulling a really long train around a really sharp curve, and so what ended up happening from that was, because the curve was so sharp, the train just yanked the cars off the rails, and they all just kind of went like that onto the ground, or onto the, you know, the model ground. But it wasn't catastrophic or anything. Nothing broke. Everything was fine. It just flopped over. And the, you know, the ground on the model is made of foam, so it, you know, it was a nice soft cushion to land on. That's about the worst that's ever happened. Okay, so that's set. And now the last part to these 4 walls is the last wall. So okay. Eric says set a timer on your phone. I know I can set a timer, but I don't know. I'd rather have something that automatically knows to tell me, rather than me having to set the timer. Because I might, you know, forget or something. I don't know. I know one of the things that'll make me forget is sometimes I actually need to have full quiet in the apartment so I can record audio. And when that happens, for sure I will not set a timer, and then I'll forget. So okay. I gotta be careful not to break anything. So far everything looks like it's lining up correctly. That should be set now. And there you have it, folks. The first essence of the shape of the caboose. The 4 walls together. The, I don't know if you can even tell. Maybe if I put my hand behind it. No, you can't because there's a shadow. But the walls are kind of bowed inwards, like pinching it like that. But I'm not worried because there will be, well, first of all, there will be other things that will go in here that will straighten out the walls. But the other thing, too, is that there will be roof joists that go across. And the roof joists will keep the walls at the right width apart. And then the floor, when that's installed, will also keep the walls apart. So, so yeah, I'm actually not worried about the slight bowing inwards. That will be corrected with time. But for now, the 4 walls are up, and we can see how long the train car is. I like it. I think it's perfect. I think it's wonderful. But now, A-Class Production says, I saw the roof and I thought it was a small combine. Yeah, no, it's a it's a caboose with a little cupola at the end. So now I need to do the last 2 windows of the cupola, and then we'll call this a night. I already cut them out, didn't I? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Because I forgot, these are the end pieces. Okay. Okay, that's good. I have to, the plastic windows have a paper covering, so that way you know where it is, because they're so clear you could lose them. So I have to use water to wet the paper backing, and then peel off the paper. And I'll set that down right here. All right. That one. Yeah, there is so much detail that this live stream really can't show you how much detail is in this caboose. It is ridiculous. I've had to put so many, like, almost microscopic parts onto this thing. But it makes me proud because it's probably one of the most intense models I've ever worked on with the most detail. Okay, so the glue is on that one. Now let's grab the window and put oh no. It's another one of those windows that it's only just sized the right size. Jeez. I hope that glues down properly. Oh, that's too much glue. Okay. Look at that. Window is just barely the right size. Okay. That window's installed. All the windows that were necessary to install are now installed. So, the 4 walls of the caboose. I'm so happy I got to this point in time because for a while it was looking like this caboose was never going to be done. My gosh. So, let me go ahead and close this. This glue smells so good. It's not good to smell glue. Isn't that right, Eric? Not good to smell glue. Eric knows all about that. Brian says, unless I'm imagining you saying you were going to do that. Do what? Oh, what I was gonna film gluing the last wall together. So I just filmed it. I filmed me assembling the 4 walls. So so I already did that. Yeah. So that's good. But there's so much stuff. Like I don't even know if you can see it, but like each of these windows has multiple parts. Like, let me see if I can count them all. Just on one window. One window is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you include the glass. Each window has 8 pieces to it that have to be all assembled both inside and out. And the inside of the caboose, well, it's probably best if you look at it from there. Inside of the caboose has window frames and everything. So, yeah, it is incredible. But you see this last piece of glass here, you probably can't tell, but the frosting on the window is all messed up. That's from the super glue. So after I saw that happening, I was like, okay, I'm changing glues. And I changed the glue to this plastic glue here. And that ended up being nicer because it didn't cause all those ugly issues with the other ones. So the other ones aren't messed up, but that is my one piece of glass on this caboose that is kind of ruined. I could probably, like, try to take it out and then, like, glue another piece. Do they have a spare? Sometimes they keep, like, a spare cutting. No, it doesn't look like they have a spare. Let me check my... Because there is a window that's a square, and it might be a spare window. Let me see. 1 body side windows. It is a spare. So there's 3, 6, 9. There's 4, 8. There's 9 windows in total. They gave me 10. So there is a spare window. Okay. Well, let's see. A-Class Production says, me thinking this was going to be a 1-hour stream. Yeah, no, it is by far not a 1 hour. Yeah, whenever I work on the caboose, it takes forever. But I'm going to see if I can remove that last piece of glass and replace it with a nicer looking one using the better glue. Because I'm going to see that every time the car goes around and around the track, and it's going to bother me seeing that cloudy piece of glass that I installed incorrectly. Okay. That's gone. Okay. We gotta wet the paper backing on the glass to remove it. Hello, Captain Galaxy. Eric says, random question. Do you think the CK Holiday and EP Ripley engines on the Disneyland Railroad are meant to represent the Jupiter and 119 for America's first transcontinental railroad? No, I don't think so. They weren't meant to represent any specific engine. They were inspired by the Central Pacific 173, but no, there was no intention to make them like the Jupiter or 119. All right, let me install some of this glue. Okay, so glue's in, tweezers, going through the front, Sweet. All right, the new glass is in, and it's beautiful. Cool. Push that corner down. Oh. That corner does not want to stay down. Oh well. It looks fine. So there we go. Daniel says, hey Alex, will your layout have snow? Will it be green? The layout will not have any snow. It will all be green, and I'm thinking about that it will take place during fall time, so it might have some fall colors on the trees. So, yeah, no snow. The problem with the snowy layout is that when it gets dirty, you can see the dirt. You can see all the dust, all the dirt. You can see any mistake you've ever made on a snow layout. So I do not want that. It would be a complete catastrophe. So... Chris says, you could try cleaning the window with rubbing it. Yeah, I don't think it would have worked because the fogginess is a chemical reaction that's happening with the super glue and the thing. Even if I got it clean, I'm afraid that the alcohol would ruin the paint on the Caboose. So I didn't want to do that. I'd rather use the, the spare window that I installed, and it looks much nicer now. So I'm so glad they included a spare window. All right, so that's done. And I better start cleaning up and figure out what I'm going to do for dinner. Daniel says, hey, Alex, did Queen Mary ever carry presidents? So technically, she carried people that became presidents, but she never carried a sitting president. So Dwight Eisenhower was a U.S. general at the time. He was General Eisenhower. He was carried on the Queen Mary. Then there was John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was a young man. He wasn't president yet. And he was also carried aboard the Queen Mary twice. I'm trying to think if there was another president who wasn't president yet. I can't remember off the top of my head if there was a third president who wasn't president yet who was on the Queen Mary. I don't think so. Those are the two names I can think of. Those are the two names. Unless somehow President Roosevelt was on there. But I don't think he was. He would have been a sitting president at the time if he was. And there were no sitting presidents that rode the Queen Mary. Tarkus says, what region/railroad is your layout going to be based on? It's going to be based on the Pacific Northwest, where I live. So, it's going to be Oregon country, possibly even, a little bit representing Washington state. And the timeline will be 1890s, so any time between 1890 and 1900. It'll be all narrow gauge, so, it'll be technically like a 2.5 to 3 foot narrow gauge. Yeah, but there is no specific railroad that it is entirely based on, but the cars and locomotives themselves are inspired by the main narrow gauge railroads, the 2-foot ones. So, like the Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington Railroad is one of the inspirations. So, yeah. Brian says Ronald Reagan. I could be wrong. You know what? I don't know. It could be Ronald Reagan. Could like when he was an actor, he could have been a passenger on Queen Mary, but I'm not certain. Tarkus says, I see. I love how the scenery looks around these areas. Looking forward to the layout progress. Thanks. Yeah, I can't wait too. I can't wait to start getting paint on the layout so that way it start having color, you know. I'm just glad I got to this point where the caboose is starting to be assembled. This is one of the most difficult, one of the most time-consuming and complex, detailed models I've ever built is this caboose. So I cannot wait till it's done, but it'll look great. It'll look great. Chris, yeah, that's why I didn't think it was Roosevelt because he would have traveled aboard a battleship, not aboard the Queen Mary. So that's why. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that. See, there is something weird about... I don't know. I'm not going to bother with that thing. I have no idea what's wrong with that. Okay, so... Tarkus says, really? Haven't you put together liner models before? I have. I put together a Titanic model. But let me tell you, that Titanic model was not nearly this labor intensive. This actually is more labor intensive. I got the Titanic model, I put that together in, I would say, 6 consecutive days. Well, I've probably worked on this model for 3 consecutive days so far, and I'm nowhere near finished. So, this is harder. This really is harder. And plus, with the Titanic model, everything was really simple. All the parts were pretty much assembled already. You just cut them off the plate thingy. You know, you paint them, you assemble them. This is not like that. This is like, some of these parts need to be cut down to size. Some of the parts need to be reshaped, and, you know, it is incredible. It's like I was telling someone earlier, each one of these windows themselves has 8 parts that go in them. 8 parts. Just one window. So that is a lot of parts. Like, you know, everything's got to be assembled 100% perfect, or else it doesn't fit together right. At least with the Titanic model, there's a little bit of play, but yeah, this is, you know, this one's no joking around. And plus, this caboose will also have furniture inside, so the furniture has to be assembled too. That's one thing that I'm just not completely looking forward to. But yeah, boy, this caboose is definitely the most detailed thing I've ever built. and there's still a lot more to do. I've probably... let me tell you how many steps there are. That'll give you a good idea. So, this caboose has... 22. Okay, so keep this in mind. This caboose, to build this, has 22 steps. All right. I have already completed 2 steps. Oh, no, 3. I'm sorry, 3. I have done 3 steps. All this work for these last couple weeks. 3 steps out of 22. Yeah, this is going to be the most intense model I've ever built in my life. So, Daniel, I don't know what ships my dad has or hasn't heard of, to be totally honest. If I haven't heard of it, then there's no way I know if my dad's heard of it. Chris says, I think that FDR used the battleship Iowa or New Jersey and met with Winston Churchill and Joseph Stalin during the end of World War II. I see. Alright, folks, I am going to end the live stream now. It has been literally 3 hours since I started, so, yeah, that's intense. And I'm hungry. I need to eat something or figure something out. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to thank you all for joining me. And tea time will be on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that'll be the next Cunard tea time. And then I'm hoping that this Friday or Saturday will be my video about the history of RMS Queen Elizabeth. But there will be construction work happening near my apartment, which will completely hinder my ability to record the audio for that. So that may have to be postponed until next week when I can actually record audio for it. So we will see. If I can get the audio done tomorrow before the construction starts, then we'll be good for Friday. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.